Here with my very first Shameless Season 9 episode review video. Before I get into that though, pretty important, if you weren't caught up to the point where I am every watching or watching Shameless, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description if that happens to be the case and you find out that you're not caught up. It would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for all of you out there that are wondering, I have seen Shameless at least one time all the way through. Some episodes I've seen more than others, but I have watched the entire show before. And for the most part, I like this show. I think there's 7 or 8 solid seasons, probably 7.5. I know there's some not so good seasons, and I know there's some terrible seasons. But I mean, when you have 7 good seasons, at least, out of 11, I think you're doing a good job. So I wanted to revisit the show. So join me on the journey and let's discuss the show in the comments section. So with all that in mind, this will be Shameless Season 9, Episode 1. The title of this episode is called, Are You There, Shim? It's me, Ian. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watch the episode. So we start out with some rats fucking in the street, and then one of the rats gets run over by a cop car. This is all kind of in front of the Gallagher house. And then Frank is laying in the kitchen with puke next to him. So we're kind of back to the old Frank, but he's like smarter and not stupid these days. And then Frank gives himself a wipe down as one of the people from the private school, one of the ladies, has texted him like, let's get it on. So he just cleans himself up a little bit with the sponge in the sink. Fiona's doing paint work in her place, and Ford says if she keeps wearing that outfit, she'll get whatever she wants, as somebody's coming to appraise the apartment building because she wants money to bail Ian out of jail. Fiona hears a phone ring. It turns out Ford has left his phone, in fact his second phone, there, and he's getting a call from another lady. Lip is Facebook stalking Eddie, and he got a haircut, and he messages her about if she's ever coming back for Zan. Debbie gets a paycheck. Frank has sex with Greta. Frank gets a text from Beverly, another woman from the school that he can satisfy. He taught Greta a few great new tricks so she can have a better relationship with her husband. Carl calls a kid the weakest link at the school, and Cassidy is actually camping out there. Someone has arrived to check out Fiona's building, the appraiser, and she's trying to be extra nice to this person, kind of flirty too, and then she finds out that he has a husband. Wow. Shameless is really woke. There's all this stuff in the show. Before that was even a thing, actually. Interesting. And Ian stands up to this asshole in jail. What's happening is these gangbangers or these inmates are take advantage of the queers and homosexuals in jail. And the hoes now, the weak, the gay people that are getting taken advantage of are on strike because of Ian being there, because he's gay Jesus. So Gallagher has a visitor, yoga sex for Frank, and Fiona's, of course, Ian's visitor. And Ian actually wants to stay locked up for at least a few more days because he's trying to, make this fair for both sides. And Fiona asks if they're giving him his meds in there. Like, that's all she can ask when he's got a good message that he's given her, like, hey, these people are getting treated bad in jail, and I want to make it more even. Svetlana is gone, so Kevin V don't have a sitter, so they have like a playpen set up at the Alibi, and they just keep the kids, which Gemma and I can't remember the other one's name. Whatever happened to V's mom's kid that Kev made with V's mom? I know she comes back eventually. I think her name was Carol. I'm just wondering where that kid is. And then Debbie finds out she makes less money per hour than the other people that she works with. Lit meets Tammy. That's Cammy's sister. As Brad and Cammy are actually getting married. So Brad has completely did a 180 He went off the rail for a while there, but he's back and like better than ever. And now him and Cammy are getting married. And Carl goes to speak with General Howell. He says if Carl can straighten out his personal stuff, for example, Cassidy, there's a good chance that he'll be cadet lieutenant next year. Fiona goes to Ford's job site. Inmates want to negotiate with Gay Jesus. Zan and Lip are on the dance floor, as that was Lip's date for the wedding. This kid that Lip knows nothing about, the kid has not spent hardly any time with Lip, is all of a sudden living with Lip. Is that allowed? Lip that does the nerdiest dance move, so he says. I don't think it was that bad. And then Zan is actually asked to dance by another kid, a kid with a mustache, though. Tammy tells Lip the maid of honor and the best man always hook up, at these things. And there's a sexual epidemic at the private school. It's the adults, not the kids. 4 people have tested positive for STDs, though, thus far. So they're going to keep everyone there until testing is complete. Debbie talks to her boss, Jacob, about her lower pay. And he tells Debbie if she doesn't like it, find another job. You take a bunch of bathroom breaks. You spend 28 minutes in the bathroom, and not everybody else does. And Tammy, while having sex with Lip as he's jabbing her, pukes on Lip's foot, but then continues to have sex. Turns out Frank and a bunch of the other people at the PTA have tested positive for various STDs. Talking to Ford, Fiona says, is like talking to a wall. Ford doesn't want Fiona to bail Ian out. Instead, invest the money in another apartment building. Kev's dick is hard, but V can't get the kids to sleep. Carl's pissed because of Cassidy potentially not allowing him to get promotion. Lip says he's going to give all the silver, or not Lip, I'm sorry. Ian says that he's going to give all the silverware that Frank was taking back to his friend's mom's instead of pawning it like Frank wants to do. The girls are finally asleep. It's go time as Kev was throwing a ball in the street late at night and having the kids chase after it. Eventually they passed out. The husbands want to kill Frank because they find out that he's been sleeping with their wives many times, amongst other people. Fiona questions Ford about having 2 phones. He says that the other one's an international phone because his mom calls, and that's who keeps calling the phone that Fiona has. And, he gives her the phone and says, have a nice conversation with her when she calls. Debbie's going to wear a homemade diaper of sorts and not go to the bathroom at all during work. Liam puts all the silverware out in the courtyard area at the school and has a sign that says, is this yours? Brad's in a good mood. Tells Lip to pursue Tammy. Says that Zan is the problem. He says to call DCFS. But I just don't understand why Lip would take in this kid that he barely knows. I could see if it's somebody he's known for years and years. Fiona calls Ford's mom, but drops the phone in the toilet. And then right away, the phone goes into a bowl of rice. Lip goes to see Tammy. She works at like a hair salon. And he asks her if she wants to go out for dinner. And Tammy says, nah, I'm good. She even tells Lip he fucks for shit. Interesting. She says Lip was the worst lay she ever had. And then the boss notices that Debbie Gallagher hasn't taken a pee break all day. Ford has a burrito for Fiona. Carl's platoon member has taken care of Cassidy. He tells Carl no one will ever find the body. Did they really kill Cassidy? Like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what they did with her, but they're implying that Cassidy is dead. I feel like she would fight off any intruder or anything like that would try to kill her, though. Ian tells Fiona we don't know if God is a he or a she, so that's about the episode title. That's why the episode title is what it is. Frank gets kicked in the balls by one of the husbands. So Frank has all these couples to have better understanding of each other. Frank leads this kind of time while they're being essentially quarantined until they find out who has what and what antibiotics they can give them. But one of them, after it's over, when they're about allowed to leave, kicks Frank in the balls. Debbie tells Jacob, played by Glenn Plummer, She didn't take a pre-break all day, and Jacob says he'll give her $18 per hour on her next paycheck. Jugs. And Debbie hears that he called her Jugs for her jugs. Carl has returned home and has found Debbie's pee-stained homemade diaper. What the hell is this? And that's what ends this episode of Shameless. So, it was good, but I don't know. Something was just off about it. You have characters that aren't being used, that were used a lot. Like what happened to Trevor? What happened to Nessa? What happened to Mel? What happened to Sierra? What happened to her boyfriend? What happened to the kid? I mean, they just kind of dropped a lot of those angles. I think Nessa and Mel come back, or at least Nessa comes back for one episode, but just a lot of stuff kind of got dropped after last season's ending. So I'm going to give the episode a 7.5 out of 10, and my characters of the episode are going to be Frank and Debbie. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Shameless and if you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing the like button. And keep in mind, I talk about a lot of things on my channel. I just don't have a niche. It's not just Shameless. I talk about The Walking Dead, any iteration of The Walking Dead. I do UFC fight reactions. I do UFC prediction videos. I do Lucifer reviews. I do Big Bang Theory reviews. I do Breaking Bad reviews. I do Game of Thrones reviews. Well, I did Game of Thrones reviews. I cover Stranger Things. I cover Cobra Kai. At one point, I covered Lost, but I think I'm going to redo those videos. So check out the playlist that I have on the channel. It's on my community tab, or just the tab section of the channel, and see if there's anything else that would be enjoyable for you. And share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Shameless. What would you rate the episode, and whom would be your male and female character of the episode? Or if you just want to choose one, that's quite all right. Click right here for my Shameless series finale rant video, assuming, of course, that you've seen every single episode of Shameless. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel as you're watching the video anyway. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev, or I should say, you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.